Okay. Apparently we have interference in the United States. A shooter in New Zealand is trying to provoke American Civil War, from what I hear. And of course the media is lapping it up. And Tim Pool said that yes, we're going to have a civil war, nothing can stop it. However, I think the conservatives are mighty hard to motivate. They're mighty hard. They haven't done much fighting back against the left so far. And I think probably the only thing that would start the Civil War is if the left said, okay, we're coming for your guns. We're coming for them. I think that would probably be what would start the Civil War, because conservatives aren't giving them up, because they know if they give them up, then the left will just bring in the gas chambers and that'll be the end of the conservatives. So, and we know that. So obviously, if the left wants the Civil War, all they need to do is say, we're coming for your guns. But the leftists don't want to get hurt. They want to be alive to rule and to boss people and to bully people. So, I really begin to wonder if there will be a Civil War. I mean, I think the left would prefer, especially the moderate left, would prefer just winning through legislation. Just making laws to keep restricting freedoms, restricting freedoms, restricting freedoms. You know, the frog, cooking the frog type of system. I think that's how the left would prefer, the moderate left would prefer to win the battle. And they've come close, they have. As I said, leftist policies, no matter how moderate, are going to take you to communism eventually. And leftist policies have been going on for about 100 years, and that's why we're pretty much we're heading to communism pretty quick. And that's why we shouldn't have got into the leftism. Should have stayed in the middle where good Americans should be, of equality. But like I said, corruption is why America's in trouble today. Anyhow, so I mean, even though some people are dire about Civil War, I kind of don't see it happening at this time, because, like I said, conservatives aren't easily motivated, and the left, I mean, they have a handful of radicals who just want to, probably would like to kill everybody, but I just don't see them organizing. I don't see them mobilizing. I don't see it happening. I mean, if there was a rebellion, I mean, maybe some radicals from the cities would try to attack some towns on the outskirts of the cities, but I mean, as long as we have law and order, I mean, I think those rebellions will be put down. For there to really be a civil war, I mean, we'd probably have to have a collapse of society. I used to think that civil war is imminent, but I'm not seeing everybody get organized. I'm not seeing it. I mean, I'm seeing plenty of people walking away from the left, which is good, which is important to defeat leftism and make society strong again, make America great again. But, I mean, I think I would have to see a lot more organization before I would say, yes, the Civil War is here. Because, I mean, what would they do? I mean, they'd have to go storm government buildings or something, I guess. They'd have to go capture mayors and capture governors and things like that to really say, I'm taking over. I could see the left maybe having a little guerrilla warfare, but it seems at this point they're trying to distance themselves from radical people like Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. And I don't see it. At this point, like I said, I'm being doom and gloom against the Civil War. So that's a good thing. I said, we're not seeing any significant organization. And I mean, stop to think of it. The left hates guns. The left is a crybaby. They would probably scream bloody murder if they fell down and cut their knee. I mean, you seriously think these leftist crybabies are going to be tough, militant soldiers tromping through the wind and the sleet and the hail and the starving and sickness? And I don't see it happening. They're not going to fight for what they believe in that way. They're not. These are people who write poison pen emails and nasty comments, childish stuff. So I'm going to say I don't think we are going to have the Civil War because I don't think either side is up to it. I don't think there's enough radical leftists for a whole civil war. And, I mean, the conservatives definitely will defend themselves. So, I mean, if the leftists think they're going to take away people's guns, I think they're going to have a mass rebellion. But most conservatives, I don't think are going to want to, go to battle with them. Of course, we'll put down the rebellion, but... So I don't see the Civil War starting, and that guy in New Zealand, that's ridiculous. If someone in another country can commit a crime and try to provoke a war in a different country, that doesn't make sense. It would only make sense if the left was colluding with him to cause outrage, which sounds like it could be. Maybe the left is colluding with the shooter to try to start a civil war. But think for a minute. The left stands to lose everything. Conservatives don't stand to lose anything. So why would the left want a civil war? Because it's obvious that if a civil war and a government collapse comes about, then the religious right and the conservative right is going to take away everything the left ever fought for. They take away all their welfare, take away all their special statuses. Their stuff's going to be wiped out. And they won't be able to enforce any of it because they depended on a corrupt system. And if the corrupt system collapses, where are the left? The left is just up a creek without a paddle. And because the conservatives will take over if the country collapses, because the leftists are weak little wimpos that couldn't handle a thing. So the left stands to lose everything. But they think they'll gain everything. That's why they want a civil war. But they'll find out when it's too late that they'll be the ones who lose everything, because conservatives are tough and a pioneer stock, and the conservatives will take charge of the civilization and they will rise again, and the leftists, who their policies are unsustainable, will just starve themselves to death and fight amongst themselves. So I don't see the Civil War. I just don't at this point. Leftists can try to push a civil war all they want because they think they're going to get their way, but they're really not. So no, sorry, no civil war. We'll keep monitoring the situation, but at this point, I don't see it happening. Okie doke. Well, leave your comments below. What do you think about the Civil War? You think it's going to happen, or you think not? All right, we'll see. Let freedom ring.